Another interesting thing I found here is, as we remember, um, these guidelines are created in 1980, and from 1980 to 1985, they kind of got to see the results of that first, recommendation that they put out. And if we go to page 13, we will see something very telling. Weight management. The
Oh
prevalence
gosh.
of obesity in the United States has doubled in the past 2 decades. Huh. 25 years of American dietary advice, and obesity has doubled.
Interesting. Yeah. And this is where a lot of the FAs, the fat acceptance crowd, they're very upset about this language because they're like, why are you saying it's a problem? But they were very much, they fearmonger about it, but then they're also giving advice that's not that great.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, for people who do drastically cut sugar, for example, they can tend to have a slower metabolism. And then what happens when you take a trip to McDonald's because you're starving, then you eat that and you gain massive weight. And that's where you get that sort of fat acceptance, like rhetoric of dieting makes you gain weight. No, just poor dieting that is suggested by the government.
Thanks,
So
government.
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought that was so funny that they're like, because they promoted this like crazy. We
Yeah.
all remember the food pyramid growing up. I
Yes.
remember somebody came into my classroom, some nutritionist or doctor or dietitian. I don't remember who she was, but she came in and she told us the food pyramid and really, really stressed eating these different proportions. And it happened in I remember it in kindergarten. I remember it in third grade. I remember it happening in fourth grade. It was a big thing, and they're
Yeah,
still
it
promoting
was.
these different initiatives. And this should have been the first indicator that something was wrong. So you're pushing it on the American public, and then obesity doubles.
Yes. And I don't think that they understand. I mean, some people that are probably more critical of the fat side of things, or, people who are more anti-FA, for example, they'll say, well, it's because people weren't listening to the guidelines. And then I would say, a lot of times people are backlashing against them or because they're not working. Like, I went to a dietitian when I was in fourth grade. I had fatty liver already. And the diet that they suggested to me was something similar to this. This would be around 2005. Great year. I'm just kidding. Great year to be fat, I guess. They would literally they told me to do these things. They told me to cut saturated fat, have whole grains, and do all this stuff. And me and my mom would try to do it. We would be starving. And I mean, you think of hunger, holy crap, we were starving. And we'd end up going to McDonald's. And that's all that happened.
Yeah.
That's what people do. And it's because it's not sustainable at all what they're suggesting.
And all I heard from that story, Alex, was that one, you lacked willpower,
Of course.
and you just didn't have enough self control.
Yeah, I should have just been okay with starving all
I
the
know.
time.
Versus having a nice, healthy, balanced diet with plenty of protein, fat, and fruit or vegetables that are actually fruits, because
Yeah.
things like squash and yeah,
Yes.
and zucchini are actually fruits. And
Mhm.
and you probably would have been just fine. You would not have felt so hungry.